I'm Emily, and this is my story. Well, my childhood was pretty much just me and my brothers and my mom. My dad wasn't around much. They got divorced. When they were together, my dad was very verbally and emotionally and mentally abusive. It just wasn't a very good, positive atmosphere. He was never home a lot either, so it was basically, even when they were married, it was basically me, my brothers, and my mom. My dad kind of fell out of my life, I guess, even more than he already was. He would always show up, 2 hours late, or not show up at all when he was supposed to take us for the weekend. Even though he wasn't there, I always felt like he was more interested in my brothers and not really me. I guess it's because I was a girl and, he could do more stuff with them than he could with me. My mom always took us to church when we were little. My dad never went. It was always just me, my mom, and my brothers. We kind of stopped going, and it kind of started getting like we would go off and on for a while. A few years of that, we kind of just stopped going altogether. Well, when I got into high school, I started, hanging out with the wrong crowd of friends. I don't understand why I kind of tended to lean towards that group of people. I was 15 when I started smoking weed. My good friends were already in that kind of stuff and wanted me to try it, and I didn't think, I saw them doing it and said, oh, well, nothing's wrong with them. As soon as I started, it was like every day for me, and it was kind of fast track or nothing from there. After weed, the first thing that I tried was Percocet. From there, I was kind of doing it about every week, I guess, and then it started getting to every day. Some of my good friends, they even stopped talking to me even though they were doing it too, because I was so much worse off than they were. Percocet is an opiate, and so is heroin. One of my friends said, oh, well, I have this and it's way better than Percocet. It'll make you feel so much more better. With the heroin, it was just, I did it once and it was every day. It was every day, whenever I could get a chance to go to the bathroom and break up a line, and I would do it every chance I got. And then it started getting to the point where if I didn't have it, I would get really sick. The only thing that makes you feel better is doing another line or shooting it up. Well, the drugs kind of just covered the pain that, my father left. Also anger at myself because I felt like I wasn't good enough for him to love me. It made me not have to feel anything. If I could have the choice of, feeling angry and bad about myself all the time and, just taking my anger out on others and then, feeling nothing. Of course, I would choose not to feel because no one wants to feel that bad. It got to the point where my mom, I guess, couldn't handle me anymore, so she kicked me out and she actually made me go live with my dad. And I guess she thought that would fix the problem, but it actually made it a lot worse. Because when I moved down there, it was just kind of like, well, I don't really know who he is. He doesn't really know who I am. So I think it was just kind of him trying to be like, oh, well, I can save her. I can fix her. Even when I lived with him, he was never there. Like, it would be weeks. Like, I could go a whole week without seeing or talking to him, and we lived in the same house. I started hanging out with my stepsisters a lot, going to parties with them, and of course all their friends are older, way older than me than I was at the time, and through them I kind of met some more people who were into heroin and coke and crack. I smoked crack for the first time down there. I did coke for the first time down there. When I moved down to my dad's, that was the first time that I actually started injecting heroin and cocaine. I think that was the point where it just, everything kind of spiraled way, way out of control. I dropped out of school because I was too lazy to get up and I wanted to party all the time. My relationship with my stepmom and my dad got worse. My relationship with my stepsisters got worse. Pretty much no one wanted anything to do with me. After I dropped out, through some friends that I would hang out with, I met a guy. He said, well, come live with me and, you can have all the drugs you want and, for free and you won't have to do anything, and you just get high all the time. He lived there by himself. His mom actually passed away from cancer, and so he got the house to himself, turned it into a party house. Honestly, I have no idea what made me do this. We kind of came up with the idea that, oh, well, we don't have any money. Why don't you have sex for the drugs and the money? I don't know why I let myself do that, but it was kind of like when I started doing it, it just didn't affect me. I could go have sex with a guy and just not feel anything. I guess in a way it gave me the same high as the drugs did, because I knew what I was getting out of it, but at the time I didn't know that what I was giving up was so precious. My rock bottom moment was when I was living with the guy down on the Eastern Shore. The house that we were staying at was getting foreclosed on. One day the power and electricity and everything kind of just, they came and they shut everything off. We would have to go to the grocery store and steal food just to, so we could have something to eat. It was in the middle of winter. It was freezing cold. And through all that, we were still managing to have enough money to get high. One day, he said he was going to a party, and so I was at the house by myself, and he just never came back. He left me there by myself and with nothing. So I was stuck in that house by myself for like 2 months, still getting high. I had no idea where he was. I don't know what made me do it, but I just walked over to the neighbor's house and knocked on their door, and I asked them if I could use their phone to call my sister to come pick me up. She picked me up. I went over to her house, and she got me Suboxone, which is to make you not go through withdrawal when you come off of opiates. I actually stayed clean for a few months, and then I moved back up with my mom, and I was going to church with her. I didn't really want to go because at the time I believe that there was a God. I just didn't believe that he loved me. Moving back here, I knew all the same spots to go go cop some drugs, and so I would always be able to run out the house whenever and go get something when I started feeling bad. That's what I did. I would just, wait for my parents to leave for work, go call up one of my guys, and then, go walk out my door and meet him somewhere and come back and just sit in my house and get high all day. Well, it started to get pretty bad again. So one day, I kind of just ran away, I guess. I was over 18, so there was nothing really my parents could do. So I called one of my friends, and he came and picked me up. I stayed with him for about 2 months, I think, after that. It was just really bad, kind of the same situation as it was before. One night, he went out, and I was there by myself, and I ended up doing a whole gram of coke by myself. I was just sitting on the couch, and I started to pass out, and I could actually feel my heart slowing down, and it was just really, really scary because I really, really thought I was gonna die. Some reason I didn't. I don't know why. I don't know how. That moment when I kind of realized that God really wants me here for a purpose, and He really wants me here to tell my story, to help other people. I decided to give everything up to God, and because I kind of realized, I can't do anything on my own. I can't beat my addiction without Him. I actually called my mom, and I told her I wanted to go to rehab, and all day I was looking up rehab centers. I started praying every night, and it was just kind of after I gave everything to God, something just clicked, and I had absolutely no desire to do any kind of drug ever again. My relationship with God right now is extremely strong. I talk to Him every day. I thank Him every day for just providing so much for me, and for just always loving me for who I am and not for, who I was. And I thank Him every day for being the father that I never had. No matter how great of a dad that you have on this earth, nothing at all can compare to Jesus.